What it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage here. This is Snacking and Hanging, the Loaded Snacks podcast. This is episode 42. I have the usual
42.
suspects. Yeah, 42. 42.
Oh, that too.
As you can hear, the usual suspects with me. I got Sin and New Joker in the building. Sin, speak to the people.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And New Joker.
What it do, what it do?
Okay, so gentlemen, we had a long weekend.
Whew.
We're recording a day later than normal. We'll explain why that is momentarily. You normally record on Sunday. It's Monday. But again, without jumping, without making you wait. I should say without making you wait. It happens to be November 7th, which is N7 Day. Right, gentlemen?
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so for those of you who might be listening and are unfamiliar with what that means, N7 is a reference to Mass Effect, which for a lot of us gamers, we associate specifically with Microsoft and the Xbox franchise because the original Mass Effect released exclusively for the Xbox console, the 360. And then eventually EA took over, and then it became something that was available on PlayStation as well for Part 2 and Part 3, and eventually they did do a trilogy that finally put Part 1 on systems other than the original Xbox. But,
yeah, they did it in the form of like a graphic novel, kind of like a motion comic or something like that, where you're able to pick the choices.
Well, no. They made the game itself. They made the game itself available.
Okay.
But
okay.
when they made like Part 3 available and like Part 2 available initially, because the game was made where, as a true trilogy, the choices that you made in the first game affected what happened in the second game, and then even the choice you made in the first game affected the third game. So because that first game was not available originally to PlayStation owners, only for the Xbox console, when they released Part 2 and Part 3, they made it so that it came with like a downloadable kind of a motion comic that filled you in on the backstory, but as you're going through the comic, you're actually making choices. So it kind of took the place. The choices that you would have made when you were playing the first game, you were able to make in this comic, and then when you started playing the second part, you were able to use that as, the choices that were made that affected your game. So who lived and who died and who you chose to have as a partner or to sleep with or whatever. All of those things were choices you could do in like a motion comic, which was actually really cool.
Agree.
But as a whole, the series itself just was kind of groundbreaking in the way that it took those original choices you made and had them be something that was effective throughout the next two games, even though a lot of people didn't like how it turned out in the end by the time you got to the end of Part 3. I didn't have issues with it, but it just was really cool. And so N7 Day, November 7th, N7, is a day where usually we get some kind of information released and things like that from Bioware, who is the developer, while Electronic Arts is now the publisher. And so we got a couple of announcements today, gentlemen.
We did.
First and foremost, the fourth installment in Mass Effect Andromeda, which we've known about for a while, and we've gotten teasers, and then recently we got like a slight kind of a trailer at like the PlayStation 4 Pro event. We got to see like our first gameplay footage there, which kind of felt uneventful but looked really, really pretty.
Agreed.
But today we got a full-on trailer. So have you guys both had a chance to watch the trailer?
Sure did.
I have not had a chance to watch the trailer yet.
Okay, first and foremost, sir, you are slipping on your pimping.
Hey, I came straight from work here. I didn't have time to look at it.
Let me tell you
hurry up
something.
and get here.
It's N7 Day. you put work on hold and you watch that minute and whatever trailer. That's how
I
that
did.
works. Exactly. Sin, let's talk a little bit about the trailer, man. What do you think of the trailer first and foremost?
Man, take my money now. I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm ready. It played this. The trailer got me way more excited than the gameplay footage did.
I was
At the
getting ready to
PS4
say,
Pro, man.
wasn't it take your money before you saw the trailer?
Well, look, Mass Effect already has, just by the name alone and what they did with the trilogy, already has the take my money stamp put on it.
Right.
But actually seeing a trailer and getting an understanding and getting to see more of it, what's going on, I'm excited. I'm very very excited for it. So I like what I
Yeah.
saw. I'm amped. All CG, no
I
like
do.
gameplay footage, but it looked intriguing. I'll
Oh,
say.
man, I don't know. Some of that could have been gameplay footage, man. I ain't even gonna
Hey,
lie to you, bro.
nowadays it could.
It
It
could
very
have
well
been at
could.
least in-engine footage.
Right.
Based on what it looked like when we saw the thing at the PlayStation 4 Pro event, which is a little, it kind of makes me wonder, how this new era of like midlife like game consoles with their upgraded visuals and power and things like that, like how that's affecting the trailer game in terms of like, is what we're seeing, is that running on a PlayStation 4 Pro? We've always had those like, sometimes when they show you a trailer, it's really running on like a high
high
power
powered.
PC and you're not
Yeah.
Of
really
course.
seeing it. You know what I mean? But now it's kind of like, what version are we actually seeing and what's it going to look like if it's not on one of those versions and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
It's just an interesting time based on that. But I will say that the trailer definitely got me excited for kind of where the series is going, because the first three being a standalone trilogy, we're continuing Mass Effect, but it's not the same story. This is a
Right.
story that is separated from that initial story and kind of getting some background on that and what that means. And like listening to the trailer, it's basically like, you know, that initial jump, you get to see like the Citadel in the
Mm-hmm.
background in the trailer and them standing on like the moon and overlooking the earth and talking about, hey, this is a new frontier. We're sending people out to go to the edges of the Andromeda like galaxy or whatever, and you're going to sleep for 600 years and you're going to wake up and you're going to, continue to move us forward and what have you. And clearly something goes awry, which
Of
is
course.
classic in terms of like cryo sleep and going into space.
Right.
There's always something that goes awry. Um, but I don't know. It was just something about it, man. When they start talking about it, it's like a gravity well, and like I'm like, yeah, let me get them powers, bro. Let me get them powers
Mm.
back. Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm ready for some Andromeda. Um, Couple things I noticed. One, it says that the release date is spring of 2017.
Yeah.
So
Oh. Oh.
that's probably somewhere between March and maybe June.
Right.
Um, Assuming it
Let's
doesn't get
hope
pushed back,
March.
which it already got pushed back once, right? Like, wasn't it supposed to be out this time, like
This
this year?
this year, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So, hopefully it's far enough along that, yeah, we're actually gonna get it at that point. The other thing that I noticed, which wasn't something that was part of the trailer, but because there was something else special that came along with the announcements, which we'll get to in a moment, I happened to be in the store on the Xbox One and I saw Mass Effect Andromeda in the store. So I clicked on it because I thought to myself, maybe the trailer's there and I just let me watch the trailer again. But I clicked on it, and in there, it specifies 4-player co op, multiplayer,
Oh.
online. So, does that mean the actual game, like story mode, is 4-player? I don't know. I doubt it. It does say multiplayer.
Don't doubt it. Think positive thoughts.
Nah, I
No, I
doubt it
doubt it.
because I'd
I doubt
rather
it.
be pleasantly surprised, bro. I really would. I would rather be pleasantly surprised, as opposed to being disappointed. But, that to me says that probably the most important and successful part of Mass Effect 3 is probably coming back from Mass Effect 4, which was the multiplayer, the online co-op multiplayer, which Sen and I have said time and time again, literally one of the best multiplayer experiences
That
ever.
jump was such a sleeper
Ever.
experience. Like when you hear Mass Effect, you always think the story, the single player thing. Then they announced, yeah, we're gonna throw a multiplayer thing in there, co-op Mass Effect 3. Okay, cool. But then when you get in and start playing it, it was so addicting and so much fun. And like you just said, one of the best multiplayer experiences we had on the 360.
Yeah.
Time
Just
and time
all the
again.
characters that were available when it started. All the different versions of the abilities, like of each class, for
Mm-hmm.
like all the different races. And then they started adding new classes that had new abilities and different mixes of abilities. And then just like opening the little card packs, you know what I
Oh,
mean? And like, man, and then like the double team moves with, oh, bruh. Let me tell you,
yes.
that game was pure crack. It was pure crack. Um, so on that note, they made Mass Effect 2 and 3 available today via backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. So immediately, I downloaded mine and I contacted Sin. Bruh, we got work to do. Let's get back on it.
Oh, yeah. Soon as I walked in, I plugged in my 360, uploaded my save, and went into the
Yeah,
Xbox
to the
One and
cloud.
re-downloaded. Nope. I need all my characters back. I need to be ready. Let's go. And
Yeah,
also install the 1 and 2 over. Like I have a real strong feeling I'm going to be going back through this thing from the beginning.
Yeah, I was about to say the
exactly.
same thing. I'm definitely
Exactly.
gonna do
I have
that.
a very strong feeling I'm gonna do that.
Here's
So
what's
let me just
crazy.
install them now.
I want to do that, even though I know that those games don't have an effect on this game.
I
You know what I'm
agree,
saying?
but that just shows
But
how great
what
of a
if
game Mass Effect was.
that just, yeah, like Mass Effect 1 has been backwards compatible since they launched backwards compatibility. As a matter of fact, it was one of the very first games. Being a member of the preview program, that game was available for me to download like immediately as soon as they announced it. And the only issue at that point was that while the game itself was backwards compatible and I had the disc and I needed to use the disc in order to test it and run it, it was kind of, they were still testing the backwards compatibility and how everything worked and all that kind of stuff. The game itself was backwards compatibility, but none of the DLC was available. So even though I had saves that I could upload from my 360 so I could
Mm-hmm.
use them in the cloud on the one, I didn't necessarily have access to all of my saves because I had saves that had information that came from the DLC,
DLC, right?
and the DLCs weren't available. So while the game worked in theory, I never got a chance to really jump back in and play it because it just didn't, like, everything wasn't there, and I just never went back to it. But now with 2 and 3 available, and I I went back, I played the first one twice because when the second one came out, I did a second run through so I could run as a renegade because my first run through I ran as a paragon.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And then I replayed 2 when 3 came out because I wasn't happy with my renegade run. Like I had played through as a paragon, then I went back and played through as a renegade, but I wasn't happy with my renegade run. So I ran it again. And in 3, I only ever ran once. So I'm ready to run it again.
I did the exact same thing you did. Yep, never ran the third one as both characters. Like I'm about to start over from the beginning and just because that's one of them games. When I think about playing it over, I never think about let me just go run 3 again. I think about nope. I want to start at 1 and go all the way through to the very end, all the way from 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Every time I think about playing it over again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm ready to do that. I don't know if I have that kind of time. But I could probably make that. There's a lot of stuff coming out.
It is.
But I also have high intentions of getting caught up in the multiplayer again, which is supposed to be happening in like 40 minutes. So we need to move through this. But yeah, so it just so happens though that N7 Day also happens to be today, November 7th of 2016, is the 10th anniversary of Gears of War. It was originally released, the first Gears of War was released on November 7th, 2006.
Uh-huh.
And so it's also the 10th anniversary of Gears of War. And so Gears of War 4 has new pack available, the 10th anniversary gear pack, which actually has a new character for like Horde and Versus, which is one of the Carmine brothers, the one brother that survived because we voted that he stayed alive when all the rest of them died. He's available, and there's some other guns and stuff like that that are available. The packs are only like 200 of those little gold credits that you get as you play through the game or whatever, so they're not that
Okay,
expensive.
cool.
So I did jump in and open a pack just to see what happened, and I got like a 10th anniversary version of like the Hammer Burst, which I'll never use because I hate the Hammer Burst. But I know some people love it, but I'm kind of a shotgun guy. So that's kind of cool. And it's available, I think, for the next 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. So there's no rush to go out and grab it now.
Well,
You got a
yeah,
little
but
bit
it
of
goes
time
fast.
around.
Like that Run the Jewels pack isn't there anymore. The Run the Jewels pack they did a couple weeks ago, they had like Killer Mike and the dude LP or whatever from their thing. Like
Well,
that stuff's
they
not
still
there
got that
anymore.
ad up. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's yeah, you can't. Not that I can see, you can't get it anymore. Like that pack that was there, that little airdrop or whatever that they have, isn't there anymore. So now the 10th anniversary thing is there, that's gone. So I don't know if they'll ever bring it back, or if that just means if you didn't get it, you didn't get it,
You
and
just
that's
missed
it.
out, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting what they're doing with Gears. I'm a little on the fence on the I guess the plan that they have for Gears, with things like the maps kind of rotating and you're not having all access to all of them unless you had a pass, and just I don't know. I'm kind of still weary on that, but I thought I'd ask you guys just kind of what your memories are of playing the first Gears of War.
Wow, the first one. I think the first memory that comes to my
Man.
mind is that when you get into that one board where it was raining with the gas station, and you get like I think it was like you get like the vehicle for the first time or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember how
Mm-hmm.
beautiful it looked the first time going into that level and seeing it,
Yeah.
like how graphically superior that game was to everything else that was coming out, and it already came out at that time. Like that's the first thing that sticks out in my head whenever I think about Gears of War. Like that just was so amazing back then. Like good lord, and it had some great multiplayer fun on
Yeah,
it.
definitely good on that multiplayer, and
Yeah.
I'll never forget the probably. I would say I beat the first Gears of War within the first few days of me getting it, because I literally, after I started playing it, I couldn't put it down. And after I beat it, I said, you know what? It was pretty smooth. I was like, let me just go ahead and crank it up to the hardest mode so I can just try to beat it and get the achievement for it.
Mm.
I will never forget how bad just coming off that first mission was. That was the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. Going up to the hardest difficulty in Gears is, yeah, exactly what it says it is. It's insane. They call it insane.
Insane.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, Gears, in terms of being like a brand new IP, for Microsoft's second console out, but really being that first true, like, this is what HD gaming is. This is what these systems could, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Really can do. I mean, it changed the game. I think Gears of War made believers out of people who were still at the time very much, I'm going to wait for PlayStation 3. I'm going to wait for PlayStation 3. I don't need an Xbox 360. I don't have an HD TV. I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, Gears was so important in terms of moving that needle, and having Epic Games at the time. I mean, the Coalition has done a great job with Gears 4. Having
Absolutely.
Epic Games at the helm, at that time when they were really known pretty much for just doing like multiplayer, like, Unreal Tournament and, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But having that engine, that Unreal engine,
Mm-hmm.
and like, I was never a big fan of like what the characters look like, big and bulky and kind of blocky and whatever. But the game itself looked phenomenal, and for me, the game, it was the moments of like walking through that building as like the building collapsed and turned sideways, and like you're walking through this building that's sideways and looking out the window and like sniping. It just, even doing stuff like, it was novel at the time that, like, yeah, you're playing online 2-player, blah, 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 and then you get to a point and they split you up. And obviously that's a trope for the game now, but they split you up and it's like your friend who you've been with, who you guys have been kind of looking out for each other and protecting each other and calling stuff out to each other and cover me and I'm here and whatever. I'll try to flank blah. Like now I can't do that. What do you do? What do you mean? What do you mean we got to separate? Right. And why can't we go together and send the computer two dudes the other way?
I know,
like,
really.
Why do we have to? Yeah, like why do we have to split up like this? But it added to at the time what was a little bit more survival horror / third person shooter. And it wasn't the first cover-based shooter, but it was one of the first ones to like really get it right and make it feel good. Mm-hmm. When you shoot someone a thing in the face with and like grenade tosses that have spikes on the end of them that stick to dudes and so very fond memories of Gears of War. Happy 10th anniversary to GOW.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Any other thoughts? N7 Day, guys? I've seen a lot of cosplay out there today. A lot of N7 cosplayer. A lot of armor.
Have you seen the collector's edition for Andromeda by any chance?
No.
So, the collector's edition comes with a remote-controlled Nomad with it this time.
I don't need that. And
I thought about it, and then I saw that price tag on it, which that price tag is a smooth $200.
You know you're gonna do it.
I know. He said like he not, but he is.
You know you're gonna do it. Why you talking about it like that? Might be a little bit too much. Yeah, right. You're gonna do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're gonna do it twice and buy it for two separate systems.
Nah, I may buy the game twice, but I'm not gonna buy that collector's edition twice.
Okay, I mean, I hear you. I mean, you bought 2 copies of Dragon Ball, but you didn't buy 2 collector's editions, so I guess I gotta go with you on that.
And it's got a built-in camera, LED lights on it, all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're trying to tease a little bit.
And an app for your smart device.
Yeah, it probably doesn't work on my smart device, so I ain't worried about it.
Sorry, yeah. Just Google Play in the App Store.
Windows don't get that kind of love, bro.
They don't get that kind of love.
Yeah, but it keeps me from spending that kind of money, sir. I am good. I didn't see that, but I'm not gonna buy that either. So I'm sure there's $100 version that I'm gonna be stuck buying because I'm gonna want all the DLC stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I think it's actually only $89 for the. Actually, may only be $70 actually.
See my man say only $70, only $89. You know that 200 don't mean nothing to him. He getting that thing, man.
Yeah, deluxe edition's only $70.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised at that.
I can work with that.
I'm with it. I'm all about it. Man. Fond memories. I love my shepherd. And I look forward to having whoever the new character. I don't think they said his name in the trailer or her name in the trailer. They just say you are the whatever, the person who's got to go find it, the Pathfinder. You are the new Nissan. So, I'm excited about that. Yeah, straight up. Okay, gentle dudes. Let's take a quick break. Come back, talk a little bit about Extra Life. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Do it.
All right, we'll be right back. And we're back. Episode 42. 42. Of Snacking and Hanging. Loaded Snacks Podcast. Thank you to all of you who have been listening and downloading the show and all that goodness, whether you're listening on Facebook or iHeartRadio or Stitcher or whatever, iTunes, however it is you're getting in listening to the show.
Preference.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate it, and appreciate your feedback and all that kind of stuff. Extra Life, gentlemen. This past weekend was the major Extra Life charity event, which again, if you're unfamiliar with Extra Life, it is an organization that allows people to play games to and accept donations for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And as a participant, you can choose a hospital that falls into one of those Children's Miracle Network hospitals and play for that hospital. And you basically solicit donations from people to give money to families or to the children who are affected by diseases or in accidents or things of that nature, who might otherwise have trouble paying and not necessarily be able to afford the health care that they need. And so, Extra Life is a really cool way to give back, especially for folks like us who are gamers by nature and at heart anyway, and gaming would be something we would do anyway. And during the major event, you can actually do Extra Life anytime you want. So you can go to extralife.org and sign up and set up your own day and time that you want to do it and collect money really any time of the year. It doesn't have to be when they do their main event. Usually that event takes place in November or the weekend when daylight savings time happens, which is nice because it allows you to get some extra sleep. And I say that because during that event, it is essentially where a lot of us, including major gaming publishing outlets or internet outlets, do a 24-hour gaming stream. And so this past weekend, that's what we did. So for a few weeks, we've been, asking for donations via Facebook, Instagram, however we could get the word out. And we were fortunate enough to have people give to this worthy cause. We were able to exceed our goal, which is a wonderful thing. And so Saturday from 8 a.m. until technically Sunday 7 a.m. because an hour went back, but it was still a full 24 hours.
Correct.
We, all got together in one location, got online, and we gamed. And it was absolutely worth it. Every minute of it. I had an absolute blast, guys.
Absolutely.
Um, Talk to me a little bit about how you guys feel about the whole thing, the whole weekend, the event itself. Talk to me.
I mean, the whole event itself is just a wonderful thing. It feels good for something that we enjoy doing, that we were able to do something that we love to help others out, which is absolutely amazing. Um, I mean, I don't care the amount that we raise. I mean, it's just the cause of it to get together. We're going to do this. We're going to help raise money for the kids in need. It's just an amazing feeling. Um, again, 24 hours in gaming. Now, this is coming from us, me specifically. I'm sure I've said before, yo, I could sit in front of a TV. I could play video games for a whole day on its end. Like, that was not easy.
Clearly, because somebody fell asleep.
I
Just
swear
saying.
straight up
Just
there.
saying.
I'm just saying, somebody didn't quite make it.
Somebody couldn't hang.
Oh
Yeah,
man. But
yeah,
still, nonetheless,
yeah,
for the cause, it was an absolute wonderful thing.
yeah. I agree. Sim, what do you think? What do you want to say about it?
Uh, I'm proud of myself and us for you know doing it. I've had a lot of positive feedback. For taking something that I love and doing something positive with it. Uh,
Yeah,
had an actual I had a phenomenal time kind of getting back into like the land gaming thing. You know what I mean? Doing it for a cause, but we're sitting there all together, order pizzas, get the sodas, get the loading snacks, and we're just running game to game to game, back to back for 24 hours. And shout out to UB because we hung the whole 24 hours. Just put it out there. You know, we stayed up
yeah,
for the
yeah,
entire
yeah. We
time.
did.
And
Hey,
you know what?
listen.
For
Hey,
real,
listen.
I
Go
want to give a
ahead. Go
shout
ahead.
out to our man Click Clack that we run with on
Yeah, no
Xbox
doubt.
Live because he ran
Yeah,
with us pretty much for the entire 24 hours too.
no doubt.
Like if he
No,
wasn't
no
playing
doubt.
it, He was watching us stream it, watching us
Yep.
playing it. Then we moved to the next game.
He was posting stuff in the chat. He was
Yep.
putting up the link
Yep.
in the
He was-
chat for people. And he was at one point he was even rebroadcasting our broadcast through
on
JTV.
his. Yeah. So I mean, I want to give a huge big shout out to him. You know what I'm saying, for coming through, showing love, and participating. Like that was completely that was really awesome.
Yeah, man. Good old
but-
click clack Chuck, bruh.
Yeah. But it's great, and honestly, I look forward, you know, to
Wait. Just on that same note, just while you're on it. Not only did he do that, but he also donated.
He did.
He
really
also
did,
donated
yes.
money on top of, like, he might as well have been in the room with us almost.
Pretty
he
much.
does live kind of far away, even though he's in state where we
Mm-hmm.
are. He essentially might as well have been in the room with us the whole time.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, definitely a big shout out to him. But yeah, I did want to say that while he did do all of those other things, he also
did put up some money,
take
right,
money
he
out of
donated.
his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But keep going.
No, like I look forward to putting it together and doing it again next year. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
was a good thing, good time. We played some new stuff, played some old stuff, played some current stuff. Like we got it in. We put in some serious work. Got rare achievements. You know.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. Yes,
yeah,
we did. Yeah.
Listen, what was let me ask you just like what was the highlight for you? Like what was it a specific game? Was one of the just what was your highlight?
Wow. Highlight?
Yeah, I know.
Okay, one some of the little stuff I got to do on Yakuza and just Coop's reaction to like never seeing it before, like seeing the way that my man puts hands to people in these streets.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
even New Joe looked over a point and was like, "Good God!" Like, yeah, he's serious out here with these hands. Like that was cool. Monaco,
the opportunity to have New Joker hit those karaoke joints.
I know, but I was mad that we couldn't save it, so I didn't get those points.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got your back. I'll run that karaoke
right.
again for you.
Hey, I appreciate it. It's all good. That Monaco joint that we tried was actually a pleasant surprise, even though it was real late into it. Like we was in the home stretch when we got into it. So you really need your brain with that game. So I was picking up a lot slower than you were. I was like, okay, but that joint was kind of dope.
I mean, I had a little experience with it, but like I said, like that game's been around for a couple years. Like it's a backwards compatible title from 360,
right?
And they made it. You know, they did make it free at one point as a game with gold, but I was trying to get you guys on it like a few years back, and it was kind of like it's one of those games you look at and it's kind of like, this look fluke, but the game is actually pretty fun. But it is one of those things where like you really do want to have a group of people doing it. So I still think we should jump in and get everybody on it and play it because you really should. You don't know definitely. You were asleep. But I'm just
I did play it for a little bit.
No, you didn't. Not Monaco. You were asleep, bro.
Wait, I was?
You NK was knocked out.
Oh,
yeah,
damn.
You were out. You missed that completely. Again, it was during like the home stretch, so it was kind of one of those things. Yeah, you kind of have to think and sort of figure things out, and it was late, so just we had a good time. We probably could 2-man it, but still it would be better with more people. But I can appreciate that.
Forza, like trying to get that rare achievement in Forza, that was a lot of fun. When me and you and Click was trying to do the jump into Mr. Bean card, that was fun.
Yeah, and got it.
Yes, we did.
Got that rare achievement.
Yes, Grand Theft was also a lot of fun.
That was absolutely fun.
Yeah, playing with them random cards you had, having everybody do different crazy stuff. That was fun.
Yeah, that's something that I feel like we could just do. Like we probably should just do that. You know what I mean? Just
that was entertaining.
Anyway. Yeah.
Overall, had a lot of good moments. Had a lot of fun time. What about you, Jokes?
Dog, that Grand Theft for me, for the part like just yanking those cards. Like, yo, Chris, you got to go find a boat. I'm like, a boat? Like, obviously, okay, I'm gonna go near the water. I go to the water and I find no boats.
Work it out.
I did find a helicopter when I got that one though. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But trying to get to the 5 stars, like, was that lightning or was that Click Clap that got the 5 stars?
Yeah.
I was Click.
All I know is he got 5 stars. He
was only supposed to get 4. Like it was like, go get 4 stars.
Yeah, and he got 5.
well, he was having a hard time trying to figure out how he was going to get 5. He was like, "How do you get 5?" And then he ended up with it. He was like, "I'm trapped.
And it was like
Come
we
help
were
me."
trying to get to him, and so we could join in
That
on
joint
it.
was
We couldn't
madness.
get to him.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what
yeah.
else was
Just for context, just for those of you who are listening, basically what we did, we jumped in Grand Theft. We started a private game that had just us in it, and again, our man Click jumped in, and basically what we did was I wrote up these cards, just you know, tore some paper up, wrote different things on them for every different activities for everybody to do. You know, things like go kill somebody wearing a blue shirt, steal a car from a pedestrian, you know, find a perch and a sniper rifle and snipe 10 people. Just different stuff. Steal a police car, go steal a helicopter, rob a convenience store. Just different kinds of activities you can do in Grand Theft. And we would basically mix those up and draw a card for each person and assign something for them to do. Everybody would go off and kind of try to do their thing. And then we would try to meet back up and get rid of all our stars and hopefully everybody survived. And most of the time, not everybody survived.
I'll tell you what the funniest thing had to be when you were trying to do the Jack the Ripper joint and kill 10 women with that. That was hilarious.
I'm gonna tell you why part of that was hilarious. So yeah, so I had one called Jack the Ripper, which was Sin's idea, by the way, which was to just knife 10 women like I was Jack the Ripper, right? So I'm sneaking around trying to do this, which, okay, listen, out of context, it sounds terrible, but it was Grand Theft Auto, so
Pretty much.
but in the middle of trying to do this, I'm driving down the street, okay? I see a lady on the side of the road. I'm like, okay,
yes.
I'm going to jump out and I'm going to knife her. And I jump out the car, and this dude who's walking down the street in a red shirt stabs me, steals my money, and just runs off. And then this thing pops up on the screen that says, "You've been mugged." And then it's like, click, clack, sent this dude to mug you. And he's giggling like a schoolgirl.
Yo, I was
in the back.
rolling.
And I gotta chase this dude down and get him. So he stole like $6,600 or something like
Oh, he got you
$6,000
good.
from
He
me.
got you good.
I mean, I got him back, and then I knifed the lady. But yeah, I mean, there was definitely some moments with that were really good. Yeah, man, I had a blast. I mean, to be honest with you, while all the different game stuff we played was great, it was good to actually get together. We play a lot of games together a lot, online and, whatever. And a lot of times we let life get in the way or just be what it is. But it was good, like you were saying, Sin, to actually be together and just order some pizzas, have breakfast, have a bunch of snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Super duper shout out to my man Tony for coming through with literally like 2 cases of energy drinks. Which, by the way, he doesn't live close. He lives for us, he lives in Waldorf, so it's not close.
That's a hike.
But he made the trip and came out because he wanted to support us, because he knew what we were doing was for a good cause. And so super shout out to him for that. We had a good time, all being in the same room together and talking to each other as we play as we played the games and hearing each other's echoes come through Xbox Live and all that kind of stuff. As we kind of made those switches. So yeah, I mean, just overall, I had a really good time. I'm glad we did it. And yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to doing it again, sooner than later. So, I do. You know what? On that note, again, I just want to take a moment to thank. And I posted something on Facebook, and it's cool. I want to thank everybody who did take the time to donate. To go to the page and actually take money out of their pocket and put it into this for such a great cause. I want to take a moment to just kind of recognize everybody for that. I'm not going to go through names or any of that. We've named a couple of people, but again, it's important. I appreciate it, the kind of support you've shown us with something like this, or when you were buying t-shirts from us for breast cancer support, or for leukemia awareness support. All that means a great deal to us. All these are things that affect us in one way or the other, and you never know. And if we can find a way to do something positive, and that's what we're trying to teach our kids and God kids and things of that nature. So again, it is really heartwarming to know that there are people out there who are who do care and are giving, and that a community like the one that we're a part of, be it gaming or just geeks in general, comic books and whatever, that we are an important part of society, and that kind of stuff matters. So thank you again to everybody who did that. I want to thank you guys personally, you two and Kay and Coop, who was kind of in and out, but he was there. Um, for coming and sticking with it again. A special shout out to you, Sin, for hanging for all 24 hours, because not only did we do this, but we also were kind of celebrating the second anniversary of Loading Snacks the night before / my birthday. So we were out at Dave and Buster's the evening before.
Yeah, till like midnight.
Drinking a little bit, hanging out and playing games and so forth or whatever, and then turned around and got up and brought TVs and game systems and hooked things up and whatever, and then did 24 hours. So it's not like we took a day and we went to sleep and kind of then just got up and powered through it, but we went out. And I do actually want to thank all the people who came out to help, support us in that and show their love and support our second anniversary. So that was also really cool. It's always good to kind of get out with the people, and talk to people who support you and that kind of thing. Like, we really, really love and enjoy that. But it all just kind of fell around the same time. And so,
and for anybody who tuned in to us streaming, I mean, thank you for tuning in and watching us and our shenanigans. Absolutely. Yeah, like, we definitely appreciate it.
Cause we have shenanigans.
That is something that we do.
We shenanigans pretty well.
Shenanigans.
We shenanigans. We are shenanigans. As a matter of fact. We're changing the name from Loading Snacks to Shenanigans.
New t-shirt.
Yeah. Speaking of people that kind of show some love and support, our man Kevin Hawk reached out to us and asked us if we would kind of help support him and something else that he's doing. Kevin Hawk is a writer, wrote a great comic, indie comic, and now he's doing something else. And so he's got this thing going on coming up in a couple weeks called Nerds Giving. It's like Saturday, November 19th. And so obviously it's in our area, it's in the Maryland area, but people can come dressed in cosplay. They're doing karaoke. There's gonna be like, Third Eye Comics is gonna be there selling comic books, and they're gonna be like air hockey and old arcade games and all that kind of stuff. So anybody who's listening who's in the area, if that sounds like your thing, definitely check that out. You can find more information about it on Facebook. Just look up Nerds Giving, just like it sounds.
Nerds Giving.
Yeah, for November 19th. I think that's gonna be pretty cool. You guys know I'm kind of a karaoke dude. I like me some karaoke. I don't get into all the cosplay, even though I kind of rep Spider-Man really, really hard. I don't get into the full gear thing, so to speak. But I do a little cosplay, and I love me some arcade games and so forth. So, I certainly intending to jump out there and go. So again, just by all means, check that out, especially if you're in the area. Sounds really cool. I intend to be there. So hopefully I'll see you there as well.
You'll see me.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to touch on as far as that's concerned? Because we need to have a little bit of a discussion about Doctor Strange.
No, we're good.
Discussion.
We're good.
Good?
We can go. Yeah, we can go right into it.
All right. Let's just do that. Let's not take a break. Let's just talk about it because it's here.
It's here.
Listen, for those of you who are listening, first and foremost, no spoilers. Okay, so we're not gonna spoil anything. We'll do a spoiler cast a little later. Sin has not had a chance to see it yet.
Nah, we
kind of difficult.
Yeah, we're a little busy.
Tisk.
This past weekend. I mean, tisk if you want to, but he stayed up for the whole 24 hours. So I'm just saying. Like, normally he would have gone to see it.
Yep.
On Saturday, but we were kind of busy streaming for the kids. The rest of us, we went and saw it on Thursday. We tend to go to the early shows, the 7s. Used to be midnights, but now, we just usually go, ahead of time. So, New Joker and I have definitely had a chance to see it. Having seen it, New Joker, what are your impressions? Again, no spoilers,
Oh no,
but
no
what are your
spoilers.
impressions?
But I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I definitely enjoyed it. Um, Benedict Cumberbatch
Mm-hmm.
as Doctor Strange, I think, was an absolute awesome choice.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, as much as not a lot of people know about Doctor Strange unless you've dipped a little bit in the comics. Maybe you've watched some of the shows like in the '90s, like Spider Man. Of course, he made a guest appearance on there. So I'm sure a lot of people were like, "Oh, Doctor Strange, what is this?" And so I know a lot of people were probably on the fence about going to see it. But as usual, it's a Marvel movie. It was good, no doubts about that. Um, it is hard right now not to say anything that's going to spoil it.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to listen. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions. I'm gonna at least ask you one question. And I'm gonna
Cool.
start with this is the 14th film in the
Mm-hmm.
MCU. Where do you rank it?
Oh man.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, ooh. Um,
Hmm.
I'll say 14. I would probably say maybe somewhere mid pack, maybe a smidge higher, just because I like Doctor Strange.
So
Um,
7, 8, maybe 6. Is that where we are? Something
Maybe
like that.
somewhere in there. I don't know if I would say top five. It would
Okay.
probably be like it probably would be border right there, but by all means, it is not at the bottom. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's somewhere in that realm, like fifth, sixth, maybe seventh, depending on what you really, really like. Like we had some really good surprises with movies like Ant Man, and Guardians.
Hmm.
And oddly enough, those are some of the better movies I think in the entire MCU. So, um, it is kind of hard to specifically say where it falls. Um, but I say somewhere in there. Like it's definitely not my favorite of the films. But I sincerely enjoyed the movie.
Agreed.
Um, look, my expectations for the movie were I would say they were met. I wouldn't necessarily say they were exceeded. Um, I would say that based on the trailers that I saw, it fell pretty much right in line with where I expected it to be and what I
Hmm.
expected the movie to be. Where um after I saw like trailers for say Ant Man still was surprising. You know what I'm saying? Like that it was as good as it was. And I felt the same way about Guardians. I was kind of iffy on Guardians even after seeing trailers. Not enough to be like, this looks like it's probably going to be dumb. But enough to feel like I'm not sure how this is going to do and how well it's going to appeal to the rest of the masses. But as a whole, um, the comedy elements, the action elements, and kind of the space odyssey elements worked.
Hmm.
And this doesn't feel part of what I think I was a little bit concerned about with Doctor Strange was the idea that like that world has is kind of like Thor and the whole like Asgard thing where truthfully sometimes stuff like that tends to get a little bit Lord of the Rings ish.
Kind of. I
And
gotcha.
what that means to me is that like they say things, they name places, and you don't know they're talking about a place because everything they say is so foreign. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like the dialect they use and the names of the place and stuff. Like if you haven't been reading, you have no idea.
Hmm.
And I feel like this did a really good job of kind of keeping it so that like none of it felt so foreign that you couldn't follow what was going on. Like it didn't feel necessarily any more foreign than like watching, say, a Star Trek film, where, if you don't know what a Klingon is, you do once they say it, kind of thing.
Hmm.
Um, so I feel like the movie was really well done. I will tell you this: in the beginning of the film, I was a bit disappointed with the special effects. Like my initial impressions watching it within like the first 10 to 15 minutes, I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's still those mind blowing, kind of like room bending, effects or whatever, and all that was really cool. But up front, it felt a little underdone. Like I just wasn't real happy with it, and I'm picky about stuff like that though. Like I'm kind of a
I
stickler for
gotcha.
that kind of thing. However, as it goes on, you kind of begin to really recognize that it's part of the aesthetic and that there's something about Doctor Strange that has to do with the very like early 60s, late 60s kind of vibe, that very kind of like trippy LC, you know what I'm saying, LSD kind of vibe that begins to kind of make sense. And what it does is it kind of helps to set that world apart from what you've already seen in terms of magic or science in Thor's world, in the Asgardian world, and I think that that's kind of important. Um, Very N7 like effects in this movie in terms of like the way magic gets used and stuff like that. Also, Doctor Strange would punish Harry Potter. Let's just get that
Yeah, I
out in
will
the
definitely
open.
go on the line and say that too.
Um, Although it would be a good battle. Um, yeah, I really liked it. I felt really good about it. Um, I am currently planning to go see it again in IMAX 3D
I am one.
because of the way the effects were.
Yeah,
I
same thing
also would
here.
really like to see it in D box. I don't know if I'm gonna do both, so I kind of have to make a decision. I think.
Agree. I would say for people though, if you're not very good at watching things, like if you've seen Inception and you know how like the world and stuff kind of move around and everything, if you're not someone that can sit and watch that, you may not necessarily want to go in to see Doctor Strange, because there's I guess you could say, a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving elements in there that could make you a little sick.
Yeah, but it's easier. It's way easier to follow than a movie like Inception. So while in terms of the effects, yes, you're right about
Yes, I'm talking about
that.
the effects. Yes, I'm talking about the effects.
Yeah, but I think a lot of what happens with Inception is that for a lot of people, it just became too hard to follow, and
Hmm.
this isn't
Yeah,
like
definitely
that. I
not the
mean,
story wise. Yeah, definitely story wise.
yeah. Um, there are some changes to the storyline that I knew were going to be there because of what I had seen in the trailers. Um, that I'm okay with. Like I don't actually have any issues with them. Um, I think that he's going to fit into the rest of the universe quite nicely.
Hmm.
I will say this: if you haven't seen it, and this would include you, Sin,
Mm-hmm.
while I know that you are smart enough to know that you need to stay
People
through the
still
credits,
don't. I don't care.
this movie has two scenes
Two.
after the credits. There's like a midway one, and then there's one
At the
all the way at
very,
the very
very
end
end.
of the credits.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are two scenes. So you need to stay for both. I thought we were gonna set a record.
I
We were
did
sitting in the
too.
theater.
I did too.
The credits started. Nobody moved, bruh. Nobody
There
moved.
was
Okay,
wait, no, wait, wait. There was that one guy.
wait, and then right, and then one guy,
He
older
noticed.
guy,
He noticed nobody was getting up, so he sat back
but
down.
no, he left, bruh.
No, no,
He
no,
got
no,
up.
no,
No,
no. He stopped. He went down like
listen,
one. He stopped. He sat back down.
yeah, but then he got up and left before the second one.
Second one, yeah. Now that's where I was going to get to next, but
So,
people
so,
don't learn. I don't know
oh,
what it's going to take,
eh.
other than somebody standing at the door like, you need to go back and you need to go sit down now.
Well, I'm not
Like,
doing that. I'm not doing that.
I didn't tell
No,
you to do that.
I'm not gonna do it. But yeah, so the movie was very good. I definitely enjoyed it. To the kids, I will tell you this: it's the first movie in a long time that I've taken. Like my youngest stayed awake through the entire thing. Like she didn't fall asleep. She also didn't make me leave halfway through to use the bathroom, which has literally happened in every movie I think we've ever seen, ever, and we've seen a lot of movies. So, yeah, it was really good. Cumberbatch did a wonderful job, as really did everybody else. Like, everybody who was in that movie did a really good job. And I'm excited. I'm excited for what this means and what it brings for the future. And I'm ready to do some more speculating about what's going to happen with these future installments. But we'll wait to do that until Sin has seen it, because his input is valuable to me.
Please, sir.
So
Go see Doctor
you know,
Strange.
I love you a little bit. So yeah, definitely go see it, man. When do you think you're gonna go see it, Sin?
Most likely Saturday morning.
Okay.
Like I usually do. If not, if something changes, then it'll just be Sunday morning. But between those two, I'll be seeing it before we podcast again.
My man.
Okay.
Yeah.
My man. Okay. So then, gentlemen, with that, I think we can wrap this up. Is that we feel like we can put a bow on it?
I think we
I
can.
think so.
If you like it, then you should have put a bow on it. And that's what I'm finna do right now. So do me a favor, everybody. However you're listening, feel free to drop us a comment. Give us a like and share us, please, with your friends or whoever you think might also like it if you enjoy it. Feel free to give us a comment. We welcome all feedback, as long as it's, nice. I mean, it doesn't have to be good feedback, but it can be nice. You can reach us, loadingsnacks@gmail.com. You can reach me specifically, gage.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. I can be found on the socials at Empty Shells, MTSHELLZ. That'd be, Twitter and Instagram, the usuals. And do me a favor and make sure you shoot over to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Loading Snacks Crew. Or you can just search Loading Snacks and you will find us there. You can also search Loading Snacks on Facebook and find us as we kind of post things and information. And a lot of times you can find out what kind of stuff we're probably going to be talking about if you check those things. Sin, tell everyone. Everyone.
All right.
Where they can find you.
You can email me if you want at sin.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. If y'all want to hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, or even run some games on Xbox Live, just hit me at Sincere619. On the PlayStation Network and Snapchat, just replace that I with an L, and you'll find me right there. Jokes?
Dig it. New Joker.
Yes, sir. So if you guys want to drop me an email, newjoker.loadingsnacks@gmail.com. If you want to get at me on Instagram, Twitter, or also get at me on some gaming consoles, it's NewJoker89. And on Facebook, New Joker's Adventures.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We greatly appreciate you. With that, we're out. Toodles and lose.